to tonight's special report.
And I'm John Esteban. Tonight, we take a closer look at a major economic issue that continues to affect millions of Filipinos, the income inequality.
The Philippines has been one of the fastest growing economies in Southeast Asia, with economic growth remaining above 5% in recent years. But while the economy continues to expand, many Filipinos say that they still struggle with rising costs of living.
This raises an important question. If the economy is growing, why do many people still feel left behind? Economists say that answer lies in income inequality, which means that wealth and income are not evenly distributed among the population.
One way economists measure this is through the Gini coefficient. Recent data shows the Philippines has a Gini score of around 39.3, which indicates that while inequality has improved compared to previous decades, the gap between rich and poor remains significant.
To better understand how economic inequality appears in everyday life, we go live to our field reporters across the country.
To start, we head to one of the country's major business districts. Luzerain is currently there to expound on how income inequality can be seen even within the same city. Luzerain, what is the situation there?
Thank you, Riaden. I'm currently here in one of the busiest commercial areas in the country. This district is filled with corporate offices, luxury condominiums, and international companies where many professionals work. Some employees here earn high salaries in industry such as finance, technology, and business services. But just a short distance away are communities where families survive on minimum wage or informal jobs. Economists say this contrast highlights one of the main characteristics of income inequality. Economic growth often concentrates in specific areas and industries. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Lucy. But the issue is not limited to urban areas. In fact, many experts say regional differences also contribute to income inequality. To explain this further, we now go to Tiritisa, who is reporting from a rural community. Tiritisa, how does income inequality affect people there?
Thank you, John Steven. Here in many rural areas, the main sources of livelihood are agriculture and fishing. However, these industries often face challenges such as unpredictable weather, rising production costs, and unstable market prices. When crops are damaged by typhoons or when prices fall, farmers may lose a large portion of their income. Because of these difficulties, many people leave rural areas and migrate to cities in search of better opportunities. But not everyone who moves to urban areas is able to find stable employment. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Teresa. Aside from location, another major factor behind income inequality is education. To clarify how education affects economic opportunities, we now go to Casey, who is currently outside a local school. Casey, what have you found?
Thank you, Riadin. Education plays a major role in determining a person's future income and career opportunities. Students who attend well-equipped schools often have access to computers, stable internet connections, and additional learning resources. However, some schools in remote areas still face shortage of classrooms, teachers, and educational materials. Experts say that these differences can create unequal opportunities for students, which may eventually lead to income inequality in the workforce. Back to you, John Steven.
After hearing those reports from different parts of the country, it becomes clear that income inequality is influenced by several factors, from location and education to job opportunities.
But what is the government doing to address this issue? To answer that question, we go now to Kyle, who is covering economic programs and policies.
Good evening, Redin. The Philippine government has introduced several programs aimed at helping lower-income families. One example is the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, also known as PURPIS, which provides financial assistance to poor households to support children's education and healthcare. Experts say that programs like this help reduce poverty, but long-term solutions also require better education systems, more jobs creation, stronger regional development, and support for small businesses. Back to you, John Steven.
Thank you for that report, Kyle. We'll continue our discussion on income inequality in the Philippines after a short break. Stay with us.
Mami! Bumili ka ng suka! Yung mukhasim!
Punay! Pabili nga po ng suka. Yung ganito, oh.
Ah, dato puti.
Akin na yan, Dato Puti!
Galing mo sumapag, man.
Nay! Champion na ako!
Bumili ka ng suka, champion ka na! Yung mukhasim!
Ang Dato Puti po. May asim pa si Mami.
Dato puti, ito ang champion!
Welcome back. We are discussing the issue of income inequality in the Philippines and how it affects everyday life.
To better understand how this issue impacts ordinary Filipinos, our correspondent Junelin spoke with several residents. Let's take a look.
Many Filipinos see that even with a job, it can still be difficult to cover daily expenses.
Sometimes the salary is just enough for food and bills. Saving money is very difficult.
These experiences highlight how income inequality continues to shape the daily lives of many families.
To help us understand the bigger picture, we now turn to our economic analyst, Viola. Alright, Viola, how does income inequality affect the country's economy?
Income inequality is not just about the difference between rich and poor. It also affects how the economy grows. When a large portion of the population earns low income, their ability to spend money becomes limited. This means businesses sell fewer products, which can slow down economic activity and job creation. Experts say that for economic growth to be sustainable, it must be inclusive, meaning more people should be benefit from the country's progress.
The Philippines continues to move toward becoming a higher income economy in the coming years. However, experts say that addressing income inequality remains a key challenge for the country's future development.
Because in the end, the success of an economy should not only be measured by growth numbers, but by how many people actually benefit from that growth.
I am Riadine.
And I'm John Steven, the reporters.
Thank you for watching. Stay informed, Philippines.